Thank you for rescuing me, friends.
You're welcome, Father. But we still need to get you into the Vatican Library.
All right, team. Give me some options.
Rome's sealed tighter than a virgin's buttocks. Sorry, Padre. Wheels are out. Hellfire, what about wings?
No way! It's like the annual Octanian Raider convention up there.
Fräulein Hellfire is correct. Unless Vesuvius were to erupt, enemy control of the airspace will remain absolute.
Yes, that's it! But we'll use Vesuvius, just like in 2010, when they used HARP to trigger that volcano in Iceland and brought down all air traffic in Europe to stop the Illuminati from getting out of Belgium!
Ridiculous! The HARP is a high-frequency active auroral research program. It is not an earthquake machine.
Yeah, well, that's what they want you to think.
Nonsense! I would know about such a device.
Actually, it is an earthquake machine.
Verdammt!
Wait, I'm right? Yes! I knew it!
And now he'll never shut up. Thanks.
We called it Project Rock and Roll. A powerful experimental weapon designed to provoke seismic activity. It hasn't been used in years. But I've got the access codes.
But sir, the targeting system is down. We need to manually place beacons to realign the satellite.
Then the team just won an all-expenses-paid trip to beautiful Pompeii.
It's crazy. It's impossible. I love it. Let's do it.
I've been in search of that next level meditative experience. And I believe I found it with the console edition of Serious Sam 4. Now, if you've been playing on the PC, you've had your hands on this bad boy for a whiles now. But us console fanatics have only had a chance to dance with Sam and the first 3 installments that were released in a trilogy bundle last year. Now, if you pick up Serious Sam 4, the launch bundle, for only $40 on Xbox Series X and PS5, you can get not only that original trilogy of games, but also Serious Sam 4. And I gotta tell you, for 40 bucks, that's $10 a game. That's a great fucking deal for hours upon hours of some of the most soothing, relaxing, cathartic, first-person shooting fun that you can have on a console. And believe you me, I'm a bit of a first-person shooter addict, you know. It's like my crack, because whenever you have a bad day, there's nothing better than loading up your favorite first-person shooter and doing what those kids who go to school and try to play virtual reality in the real world should have done all along. Release your emotions in a healthy way. You know, put on some Metallica, put on some Iron Maiden, and fuck some shit up in Serious Sam 4 instead of fucking real people up, because it just doesn't really do any good. I mean, you don't even feel good after the fact, because after you've blasted some motherfuckers in Serious Sam, you just go, let's get some pizza, let's smoke a bowl, let's watch some TV. You know, you just feel fucking great. You blasted motherfuckers, you had a good time, you're feeling fucking great. I don't understand why every single time a depressed motherfucker walks up into a therapist's office, they're not just like, hey, here's an Xbox, a PlayStation, and a copy of Grand Theft Auto. Go have fun. You know, back in the day, they used to think, well, if you play these kind of games and smoke weed, you're gonna end up killing people and turning into some kind of psychotic motherfucking nutcase. But it just occurred to me that maybe the problem with all these modern next generation kiddos is they're not smoking enough of their Wheaties and playing enough of their violent video games. But what do I know? I'm just one of these old fuddy-duddies who actually likes to play my games, not going online and bitching about them. Because we all know, real gamers don't go online bitching about games. I mean, we might make that one comment or that one tweet, but believe you me, a real gamer, they're spending way too much time addicted to that fucking screen. And you know, the one that has a controller where you get to blast motherfuckers, not the one where you get to type out, oh my god, this game sucks because there was texture pop in and the game lagged for like a few seconds. It never froze, it never broke, it just lagged a little bit, like, you know, the game was really fucking drunk and it got you really fucking drunk because you're having such an intoxicated fun motherfucking time that it was like, oh, sorry there. And you're like, why would you even say sorry? We're having a great time. Just let it go. You know, just be natural. Enjoy life, motherfucker. Just occurred to me that this is that kind of game that just tells you what life is about. You know, we all thought life was about being so serious, but it took Serious Sam to remind us that, hey, even in the most dire of circumstances, a man who's called Serious Sam ain't afraid to crack a few jokes. I mean, you're blasting through Pompeii, aliens are invading the Earth, there's some fucking conspiracies going on with the Vatican, the Illuminati, and of course, as it turns out, the military has access to technology that can generate earthquakes, which you could actually use to set off fucking volcanoes. I've heard this shit elsewhere before, and it does sound like some crazy conspiracy mumbo-jumbo, but that's just the kind of shit that we need in our game, you know? It's so fucking fantastic to play these kind of fantastical fantasy experiences where, you know, aliens are flying in and out of the... Oh, hang on. It just occurred to me for a second, yeah? And, maybe if you've smoked a little too much weed, you might want to smoke a little bit more for this bit of information, but it just occurred to me. UFOs are actually fucking flying around right now. I mean, when Serious Sam 4 originally launched on the PC a couple of years ago, I mean, we had some of those video files on the internet, but we didn't take that shit seriously. I mean, I know I fucking didn't. But last Christmas, you know, just after the consoles launched, all that fucking scalper nonsense and all the other nonsense that was filling up the airwaves, quarantine, all that bullshit, you know. Not that the quarantine was bullshit, just, you know, that the fucking stress of the quarantine was bullshit. Am I right? I'm right. But there was this dude from Israel who was all talking about, you know, moon base and a galactic federation of aliens and, you know, that they've been working with, you know, Americans, Russians, and all these different states and federations and bullshits like that. But they just hadn't been ready to announce themselves to the general public because, you know, we're all stark raving fucking lunatics. And I mean, we do act kind of cray-cray at times, but I think the reason for that is that most of us, you know, have realized that shit's totally fucked, and the only thing that keeps us from completely breaking down is playing shit like Serious Sam 4. And that's why it just made me think of all this incredible shit. I mean, geez, we actually have fucking aliens flying around in the sky. We haven't fixed our own issues with racism. I mean, it's very difficult for us to get along with one another. People lie and use each other, betray each other, are disloyal. Good people are too naive to tell that they're being used by people. The world's a really interesting freaking place. And there are so many of these seeming just bots online who just want to do nothing but try to distill nothing but negativity into the one thing that just takes our minds away from the shit that most of us can't do a fucking thing about. I mean, really. What the fuck can we do about this world? We try voting with politics. We could all walk outside of our houses and start singing Kumbaya, but that wouldn't change anything. I mean, we would have to start seeing some of the illusions in our world for what they are, because certainly there have to be illusions now. I mean, our government's told us that they've been investigating UFOs for like the past 50, 60, 70 fucking years, using our fucking money for it, potentially battling motherfuckers like this, potentially having Serious Sam on the CIA's payroll. How the fuck do we not know? I mean, Congress didn't even know about all this fucking UFO watch and shit. Then we see all these fucking videos and we hear from all these servicemen. And by the way, if you know military personnel, while they've got great senses of humor, these are not the type of motherfuckers who make shit up, lie, or do any of that kind of bullshit. That's what civvies do, okay? That's not what military personnel do. Military personnel, specifically also the ones who survived their time in the military, have a lot of fucking honor. How do I know this? Because we've got a lot of homeless veterans on the streets who are like trained in military weapons and all this kind of shit. I mean, it just occurred to me that they could start robbing banks and fucking motherfuckers up. But they're not doing that because when they signed up to fight for this country, they were going to protect it from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I guess now that means interstellar, interdimensional, and, you know, fucking multi-dimensional, whatever it could fucking be. We don't know exactly what's flying around in that shit that defies our technology by thousands of years, but golly gee whiz. Last time I checked, we all thought that UFOs and technology that defies ours by thousands of years, technology that can defy the laws of physics, we all thought that shit was impossible. Turns out it's not only fucking possible, but it's literal. It's flying around in the air every fucking day, evidently. I mean, these military people talked about seeing it fucking day after day after day near some of our nuclear sites, and thank Christ that they're there. I mean, if it was up to you and I, the average fucking Homer Simpson, this planet would have been a nuclear crater a long fucking time ago. I'm pretty sure that the day the Earth stood still was some kind of documentary. It's just that the aliens are way fucking nicer than us. It's like we continually fail the test, or at least not us. It's the assholes in charge. I mean, come on, we're just civvies, most of us. And even if we're not civvies, we're just fucking the ones following orders. I mean, that's the one problem with honor. Honor gets you led to your death by a bunch of motherfuckers who could care fucking less about you. It's been the story of history. Kings leading their glorious, honorable men to untimely deaths for no good fucking reason other than they were bored. Hey, check your history books. I'm not bullshitting here, folks. And it's not exactly what's happened throughout all of modern history, but it's not exactly incorrect either. Yes, this is a game review, but you know, you people are all super serious online talking about all of these things, and you know, you want diversity this and diversity that in games because we've got to be super aware of what's going on in the world. So let's actually talk about the stuff that matters and maybe the stuff that we can do something about, because I really don't know how you fix a racist. And I understand that your fear of racism is causing you to like enact all these kind of study programs and rules and regulations to try to teach kids not to be racist. But I got to tell you that what worked for me was just watching Shaft and realizing he was just as cool and badass as James Bond, and that meant instantly that he was a really cool motherfucker. Or, you know, just encouraging your kids to have friends of other colors, and then, you know, they can get to know them personally. They don't need to see caricatures on screen. You know, it's just there's a lot of ways that we could do these things. Far be it from me, an autistic retard on the internet, to try to tell us all how to live our lives. It's just flabbergasting to me that we have impossible things happening every day now practically, and nobody's batting a fucking eye. You know, the one that I love the most is that the Pope, somebody who's got the combined religious and political authority of someone akin to our president, but again, they've also got religious authority, so that carries all kinds of like cult connotations to the shit that what he says can make people do, you know? And this motherfucker said that the devil's a real human being, a real person with dark powers. Not metaphorical, not a concept, not a spiritual being, and not a fallen fucking angel either. So I guess it's Lord fucking Voldemort, and it's just some pissy little kid like JP from Grandma's Boy who discovered the Holy Grail and some fucking godly-like powers, and he's just been running amok. Shut up, bitch! For way too fucking long. And somebody needs to run up to that little amok bitch and make him, bitch, shut the fuck up, because seriously, JP, you need to shut the fuck up, motherfucker. You're ruining video games, you're causing wars and mayhem, all because your parents didn't love you enough? I mean, none of us were loved correctly by our parents. Very few people are loved correctly. You know why? Because you've been poisoning the world with fucking negativity, asshole! All because you're too much of a pussy to get a sense of humor, to laugh shit off and go have some fucking fun and just not worry about the people who don't fucking like you. Yeah, JP's a real motherfucker. He's in all of our heads, just like Mental trying to take over Earth in Serious Sam 4. Have I smoked too much Wheaties? Nah, son. Because there's shit flying around in the sky that nobody can really explain and that defies all fucking physics, logic, and all kinds of possibilities, and everybody's just, sticking their head in the fucking sand. So, if you want to stick your head in the sand, I recommend playing some Serious Sam 4 because it'll really get your mind off the fucked up shit. But if you want to think about some fucked up shit, let me know in the comments below. Peace out, everyone.